First of all, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Wait.
Don't believe everything you read online. Ayo, Flock Gang. What is going on? My name is Drastic, and I want to welcome you guys to another video on my YouTube channel, Flocking Ravens, where you guys already know on this channel we talk about anything and everything that has to do with your Baltimore Ravens. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about a report that recently came out supposedly saying that the Baltimore Ravens will not go after a DeAndre Hopkins because of how it may make Rashod Bateman feel. Don't believe everything you read online, because there isn't an actual report that Rashod Bateman said this himself, that he doesn't want DeAndre Hopkins on board, or that he told Lamar Jackson he only wants to be his number one wide receiver. None of that. So at the end of the day, these reports just sound to me like they're just what some of these reporters think might be going on, but they don't know this for a fact. Because whatever the case is, let's look at the actual facts. Rashod Bateman was seen this offseason working out with Odell Beckham Jr. So if Rashod Bateman truly had an issue with bringing in competition into his situation with the Baltimore Ravens, he would not be working out, training with none of these competitions. I've seen people literally walk away from great opportunities just because they don't want to mess around with the whole idea of a little competition for a spot that they want. I've actually seen this a couple of times, but I'm going to tell you one story that really stuck out to me. I used to talk to two DJs that were already in the DJ game for about 3-4 years. I don't want to put out their names, so for the sake of the video, we're just going to call one DJ 1 and the other one DJ 2. So DJ 1 was actually DJing a little bit longer than DJ 2 and myself. At that time, I was constantly talking to both of these DJs to kind of get some pointers on my mixes, on my transitions, and all of that, right? So me being about 3 months into my DJing career, I would ask them, what do they think about me looking for a club or a bar to DJ at? And they told me that me being that early into my DJing career, it would be somewhat impossible for me to get a gig that early on. And I know that advice didn't come from a place of envy or hate, because they were just telling me their experience and that it does take time. But I'm a person who doesn't like to hear no, and I will try my best to prove people wrong. So I go out one night to check out this nightclub that I wanted to DJ at. Keep in mind that getting a nightclub gig for a brand new DJ is damn near impossible. You will typically only see a DJ at a nightclub if they are a radio DJ or if they've been doing this for 5 years and up. So me trying to get this gig at this nightclub, you could say I was way over my head. So me being who I am, I always find a way to talk my way into great situations. Oh, and let me not leave this part out. This nightclub was being DJ'd by a radio DJ. So I called DJ 1 and DJ 2 and I let them know what I was trying to do. And they both laughed. They were like, you're not getting that gig. Anyways, I go in, I buy a drink, and I asked for the manager, and I end up talking to the owner. So I did my thing, and I ended up convincing him to give me that radio DJ's gig. So I asked him to give me 2 weeks to promote the club, and we were going to start in 2 weeks. So he ended up telling the radio DJ that he was going to be let go in 2 weeks. I was so hyped up about the opportunity that I hit up both DJs and I let them know what happened, and I wanted to work with at least one of them. But I went with DJ 2 because DJ 1 had more years than DJ 2, and he was going to ask for more money because of the many years that he has experience in DJing, right? Keep in mind, both of these DJs put in way more work than I did. These guys were 3 to 5 years deep into their DJ career. And even within all those years, they never managed to get a nightclub gig on their own. They've DJ'd at nightclubs, but it's normally because they knew somebody and they got put on. They weren't able to do something like this on their own in the amount of years that they put in to this DJing thing. So that made me feel so much better about my achievement. So anyways, me and DJ 2 did very well that night, and we actually got very positive feedback from the management and the people that showed up. So because it went so well, I thought to myself, how can I make this even better? So I decided I was going to bring on DJ 1 and DJ 2 for the next event. And the pay was $300 for that night. And I thought, all right, I'm going to give DJ1 150 and DJ2 150. That way, if we have an even better event than the last one, we have a better resume to work with. So we could use that resume to go to other clubs and hopefully not only get one night, but 2, 3, 4, like fill up our whole week, right? And that would mean that we'll bring in more money. And because we have more traction in a crowd, instead of charging 300, I could charge 500. So I could pay DJ1 150 and DJ2 150, and I would get paid 200 because I pretty much put this together. So I'm playing the long game, right? So I called up DJ1 and explained to him my whole plan. And he tells me that he doesn't mind doing this, but he does not want to work with DJ2. So to give you guys a little backstory, DJ1 and DJ2 used to DJ at the same club, and they used to DJ for free because they were paying dues, right? Because at the beginning, you normally don't get paid. You DJ for promoters pretty much for free. That helps you get your name out and get more following, so it's going to help you in the long run. So they were both DJing at this nightclub. They had to constantly compete for the peak hour time slot. The peak hour time slot is typically between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Every DJ wants to play in that time slot because that's when the vibe is at its highest. So DJ1 and DJ2 constantly found themselves competing. So when I told DJ1 about this idea, he told me that he doesn't want to compete for that time slot, and he already knows he's going to have to share some of that with me because this is my whole event pretty much, right? So I found a solution to this, and I told him, all right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the other half of this time slot, and I'll keep the other half. DJ2 is going to open and close because he was very flexible. And this is the part that really shocked me because he told me, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even want to be in the same DJ booth as this guy. So for me, that's a person who does not welcome competition and who is scared of competition. And by him doing that, he closed a lot of doors in his career because even till this day, not to talk bad about him, but even till this day, he has not been able to really get a nightclub on his own. Every time you see him on the flyer, it's him and like 4 other DJs. But on the other hand, DJ2, not only did he manage to get nightclub gigs on his own, but he managed to get himself on the radio. And he put himself in that position because he never walked away from any competition. He always welcomed it in. And anytime he had to compete, he always took advantage of it, and that he took it like a chance to showcase his talent. And because he did that, he was able to surpass DJ1. And that's exactly what Rashod Bateman was doing with OBJ when he was training with him. Rashod Bateman is inviting his competition over by training and working out with them because he knows Rashod Bateman is the future of the Baltimore Ravens. Odell Beckham Jr. and DeAndre Hopkins, their years are counted. So why not absorb as much information as you can from OBJ and a DeAndre Hopkins? He knows this will only make him a better player. I didn't know I had to say this because I thought it was common sense. It does not matter if Rashod Bateman becomes wide receiver number 2, wide receiver number 3. It doesn't matter. Because like I'm telling you guys, he is learning from these players, and him being a number 2, number 3 is only gonna make his game that much better. So going forward, when OBJ's contract is up, guess who's next in line? So unless you know this for a fact, don't start a whole rumble talking about why Rashod Bateman is a drama queen, because a lot of people will listen to that and just run with it. And some fans will even go as far as leaving a comment in Rashod Bateman's Instagram, Twitter, and all of that. And you might not know what that might do, but in the long run, Bateman is getting this negative energy from the flock. Do you really think he's going to want to stay here? And now all of a sudden, because we got OBJ, I hear a lot of Raven fans talking about, he can leave if he wants. We don't need him. Just last year when Rashod Bateman changed his agent, I remember a lot of Ravens fans were freaking out, talking about, this might mean Rashod Bateman is not happy. He's going to want to leave. Everyone was like furious with the front office because they thought that Rashod Bateman might possibly leave. So now because we got OBJ and we could possibly get DeAndre Hopkins, you guys are all good for Rashod Bateman leaving. Let me remind you guys, Rashod Bateman, yes, he hasn't played a full season. But when he's on that field healthy, he does make a difference. I mean, are we already forgetting his rookie season? The first like 6 games, every time he touched the ball, he converted a first down. I mean, it could have been 1st and 10, 3rd and 4 yards to go. It didn't matter. This guy converted every down into a first. I mean, I was calling this guy Rashod First Down Bateman because every single down he would convert it into a first. I mean, Rashod Bateman has all the potential to grow and to be one of the top wide receivers in the NFL leagues. And I think this year he has a perfect opportunity to show that with new weapons and with the new offense coordinator in a Todd Monken. Anyways, guys, I'm going to see y'all on the next video. But I just had to give you guys my opinion on that because I just felt that Rashod Bateman was getting disrespected with some of these comments that I'm seeing. Make sure to like and comment down below and let all your friends and family know where they can get their Baltimore Ravens content from.